Fly belly up.
This is the game. It's cat and mouse.
Smoked a turkey. Yes. He is down. He is freaking down.
Said he shot an absolute giant.
Fall Obsession, baby. Well, welcome back, everybody, to another Fall Obsession podcast episode. If you guys have been listening to any of our previous episodes, you know me. I'm Sam Thrash with Fall Obsession, and I will be your host for this week's podcast episode. Want to say to you guys, happy Thanksgiving. I know that week is coming up here, and hope you guys have a week ahead of you with some time in the woods and some time with family. But for now, this morning we are with a special guest. He is a young man that has started his own little brand on Instagram and really enjoyed following up till now, and that's Mr. Diego Otero. How are you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on the podcast, man. Really enjoy having you on.
Well, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Well, guys, before we get into it, you guys know the drill. Elite Archery, they are one of the driving forces behind this podcast, and we got to tell you guys, go check them out. Elite Archery has put some quality equipment in our hands for a couple seasons now. Really loving their bows. Their new 2021 lineup is pretty sweet. So if you guys haven't already, go check them out, elitearchery.com, or at your local dealer. Head on in and take the Elite Shootability Challenge. So, Diego, you have quite the thing going on right now with Mainbeam Addiction. It's been really fun to watch, man.
Well, thank you.
So, I'm really curious. First off, I'll give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to our listeners. And tell them just a little bit about yourself here briefly.
Well, I'm Diego Otero. I just turned 12 years old on October 30th. I enjoy hunting, playing baseball, wrestling, and showing with my sister. That's where I spend most of my time is in the barn. Me and my sister show a lot. That's what I mostly do. We actually had just got our buckles picked up today. She got 4 buckles and I got 3, so we did pretty good this year.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And happy belated birthday as well.
Well, thank you.
So how long have you been hunting, Diego?
I've been hunting since I was probably 7 or 8. Before I really killed anything, I was 8 years old. It all started off whenever I was in 2nd grade, and my dad was taking my sister to hunter safety, and I couldn't go because I didn't know how to read yet. So that summer, I learned how to read, and then my dad took me on to hunter safety whenever I learned how to read. So I was in 3rd grade then. So then my dad took me to hunter safety, and I did good, and I passed. And the day that I had passed my hunter safety, there was a raffle for our National Wild Turkey Federation chapter that we are in here in New Mexico. And my mom had bought me a ticket. So a couple days after that, they had drawn the winner, and I had won a gold turkey hunt for New Mexico. And I was the first youth in New Mexico to draw that tag, so it was pretty awesome.
Wow.
The first weekend we went out there, that hunt was a whole lot of fun of driving. My dad probably enjoyed driving. We had to drive 6 hours there and then 6 hours back because it was in the Boot Hill of New Mexico where those gold turkeys were. So the first time we went out, I was with my dad, my Uncle Ty, and my dad's dad, my Poppy, and we went out that morning, and there was turkey everywhere. You could hear them in the trees. They'd gobble back at us, and so my dad and my Uncle Ty were calling them, and it was amazing for it to be my first hunt for me to be able to harvest something because I was so excited. Whenever those turkeys jumped off that tree, that sound was awesome. And then the first time I ever heard a turkey gobble, that was an awesome thing for me. So anyways, those turkeys had circled around us. So that weekend we went out. We were at one of my uncle's friend's house, and he had a really cool house. It was a whole lot of fun. So that weekend we were not able to harvest anything. So my dad told me we could go out a couple more times. So that next weekend, after that weekend, we went out with a guy named Don Fell from the Turkey Federation. It was a chapter from Silver City, I believe. And he came down, and so for this hunt that you could draw a tag, like how I did it, and buy a ticket and win it. Or there's an auction that you can go to, and the guy that had bought the auction tag, I came down that weekend too. So we went out that morning, and some turkeys came in. He called them in, but they were coming, and I took a shot at them, but I wasn't able to hit them. So those ones, we weren't able to get one, and we went out that later evening to go out. And the other guy, his name was Wayne, he went out by himself. We set up somewhere, and he set up a little bit farther than us. And all I heard was him go, woohoo, on top of the mountain, and I got real excited. He had harvested a gold turkey, so I was really excited just to see that. And what had happened is we ended up not being able to get a turkey, but Wayne did. And Wayne, being a great person, later in that I'll get into that, but he actually, since I wasn't able to harvest a turkey, he had gave me his turkey that he had gotten. So after that, we had went home, and I was really happy I caught a goose turkey. And so anyways, that hunt was over. But me being the first youth in New Mexico to ever do that, the people that like took care of all the hunting stuff, me being the first youth in New Mexico, they actually extended the hunt for me.
Oh, wow.
So I got to go out another weekend with the same guy, Don Fell, and my dad, and we went out, and we were glassing for some, and we actually seen some on top of a mountain. So me and my dad and Don Fell set up, and Don Fell called them in, and he called them in, and we had a hen decoy, and I had a tom come in with the hen, and I was able to harvest my first animal ever.
Wow, man, that is awesome right there.
Yes, sir, it was pretty awesome.
Very cool. Well, tell everybody here a little bit about Mainbeam Addiction, because that is your page, that is your Instagram handle. Let's start with, what is it? What is Mainbeam Addiction?
Mainbeam Addiction is something I came up with. I've been seeing all the Bull Effects guys and Hush guys doing all these cool things with hunting. And I just started hunting, and one day I came home from school with a drawing of a mule deer and Mainbeam Addiction by it. And my dad and my mom supported me with everything I needed. So they actually helped me put that logo onto a couple shirts and hats. And at my Valencia County Fair, where I show my animals, I was actually able to get a lady to help us sell some. So we sold a couple of hats there, and that's where it started. That's when people started wearing it, because we had it all around our county. People bought it at my county fair. So that's where it really started at. And then on December 1st of 2019, last year, we were able to finish all the trademarks. So Mainbeam Addiction is now under my name. So but the main reason I started Mainbeam Addiction is I wanted to get more youth in the outdoors, because me and them are the future of hunting. So I wanted to get more youth in the outdoors. So I've been getting youth in the outdoors by, yesterday we actually had, for Junior Livestock Foundation, we had a skeet shoot that we went to, and there was a bunch of youth there that I got to talk to and meet. and we got to give some hats out and stuff to get Mainbeam Addiction a little bit out there and talk to some new youth. So it was pretty awesome yesterday.
Man, that is so cool. One, that you're so young and you're able to already have something like this going for you is very impressive. But then on top of that, we so many people out there preach youth hunting and are actively trying to get more youth involved, but I don't know if me personally at least if I've ever seen another youth hunter trying to get more youth hunters involved. That is really cool, and it's a really awesome thing that you're doing. Kudos to you, man. Good work.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So, how big is Mainbeam Addiction now, and what does the future hold for you moving forward here in the next couple years or so?
Well, now we have Mainbeam Addiction is at my uncle's trailer store, and at my mom's work is where we mainly sell it. But we actually have a store online that is mainbeamaddiction.com, and you can go get we have hats, we have shirts, hoodies. Right now we have a little special going on for Veterans Day. We have a shirt with a Mainbeam Addiction American flag logo and the hat American flag logo. So for that, the way that works is for every $5 I get off of everything I sell, I'm gonna give to a veteran kid that hunts to use it towards anything hunting or anything they need for that. For
Awesome.
veterans. Yes, sir.
Very cool, man. That's good stuff. So, switching gears just a little bit, where do you get to do most of your hunting at? And I will follow it up by saying I'm not asking for your top secret hunting spots or anything like that. I'm just asking for a general idea of the environment that you find yourself in.
Well, most of our hunts are usually in New Mexico. This year I was very fortunate, and where I go hunt plot hounds with my uncle and my cousin every year. One of the guys up there gave me a bear tag, so this year I was able to harvest a bear tag in Wisconsin. And for this year, the guy that was named Wayne that went down with us for that Gulls turkey hunt invited me up and had bought me a bear tag in Virginia. So about a month, no, it was in this month, it was October it was in. He invited us up, so me and my dad went up there for a weekend, and me and him weren't able to harvest anything, but it was a whole lot of fun. We got to see a lot of new things. It was awesome.
Very cool. I remember seeing the picture from your bear hunt, and that was one thing that I wanted to ask you about. Tell me about that bear hunt.
Well, the first day, me and my dad had flew up there the first day. We had got up there and got settled in, and the next morning, real early, we got the hound dogs loaded up. It was a cold night. Me and my dad were freezing, but it was worth it. The first day we hunted, we were able to tree 2,000, a whole lot of cubs, but we weren't able to shoot them, so we let them go. And the next day, we woke up, loaded the hounds, and turned loose on a track. It had just happened. That bear, we didn't see it, but we could tell the bear had just crossed the road. It was a swamp, the road, and then a swamp, and he had came out of that swamp, and there was wet water on the road, just crossing the road. So with that, we turned the dogs loose on that, and we were able to track down that bear. It took about 45 minutes, but the dogs were able to tree that bear, and I was able to go in there and harvest my first bear.
Man, that is really cool. Really cool story, but then also the fact that you're able to go do something like that's awesome.
Yes, sir. It was very awesome.
So, what other kind of hunts and stuff have you been going on so far this year? And I guess I'm asking, have you had any luck this season?
Well, me personally, I was able to harvest that bear, and that's all. But talking about getting youth in the outdoors, my cousin Zach actually had an antelope hunt that me and my dad went on with his sister and his uncle, and we actually had got him to get into the outdoors. Last year he had passed his 100 safety, and this was ever his first big game animal that he drew. So we went out there with him, and we we spotted them a couple miles away, and we drove over there, got to where we could, and we put a stalk on him, and we were able to get close enough for my cousin Zach to get a shot on him. So he was able to harvest his first antelope, and it was awesome to get to see my cousin harvest his first animal. It was a whole lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. And antelope, pronghorn hunting, and all that on top of that is really fun. I remember you sharing that picture with us too as part of our pronghorn country campaign. Thanks for sharing that and allowing us to put it on our page. That was awesome.
Well, yeah, thank you. It sure did make my cousin Zach pretty happy.
Well, happy to do it. Absolutely. So, what are have you gotten to do any kind of memorable hunts in the youth hunting world as a part of this? And I know I'm jumping around a little bit, and you may have already mentioned some of it, but um, how often do you find yourself being able to be the youth hunter, and then you being able to be there in encouragement of other youth hunters? And I hope my question is making sense.
Well, I've been able to go on one of my friend's turkey hunts with him. We both had a tag, and I was able to watch him harvest the turkey, and then my cousin Zach, and I hope there's many more to come. Um, some memorable hunts for me has been I had an oryx hunt in Socorro, New Mexico, and that was one of my favorite hunts I've ever been on. My dad and me and my uncle Ty went, and my grandpa, my poppy, and we went out there that first morning. Uh, we it was on the missile range, so we had to get all the rules given to us and all of that stuff, and we were actually fortunate enough to be able to hunt the first day. Most of the time you can't do that because they're out there training, but they weren't. So we actually got to go out there the first day and go. We found some pretty good orcs, but nothing we wanted to shoot. And the big ones that we seen were a little too far away. So that day we passed on them. Next day we woke up, drove over there, and we got up on a little ridge. And my dad and my uncle started glassing, and we found a pretty nice orc. So we put a stock on him, and there was two bulls, and I was able to harvest my first orc, and it sure was a whole lot of fun. It was my once in a lifetime hunt, and it was a whole lot of fun. He was a nice orc, and I got to do it with my dad and my grandpa and my uncle. So one of my favorite hunts for sure.
That's awesome, and I'm sure they were just as excited to watch you succeed as you were, man. That's awesome. So Diego, we were talking a little bit in our pregame before this episode. Tell me about Outlook 2021.
Well, my outlook for 2021 is in January or February I will have a Barbary sheep hunt in New Mexico with one of my best friends, another youth hunter that I've got to share a lot of memories with. We have a aoudad hunt in some pretty awesome mountains. Hopefully we can get it done. It'll be a whole lot of fun. We'll get to spend some time with our dads and with each other. Another thing is I sure hope I can draw an elk tag. I've been putting in for a couple of years now, and I haven't been able to draw an elk tag. I've watched my dad guide a whole lot of people to kill an elk, and it's been awesome to watch him harvest elk and for him to tell me all the stories of how his elk hunters were able to harvest an elk. So I hope I can draw an elk tag. If not, it's okay, but let's hope I do. Another thing is we'll be going to I've been saving up my money for a whole long time, and my dad's helped me out a little bit, and we're going to buy a 7 Winchester short mag. It's a long range gun that you can swap out barrels for long range shooting and hunting. So I can't wait for that. Once we can get that, Wes, a friend of ours, Wes, is going to help us build it. So I can't wait for that. Once we get it built next year for my dad's birthday, we're going to go to a Dr. Long Range shooting camp. DR Long Range shooting camp, and we're going to go for a couple of days and go shoot the new rifle we can get. Ron White is who's putting it on. I'm going to go with Guy at Western Contours. We're going to go do that together, so that's going to be really exciting. I can't wait for that.
That's awesome, man. Sounds like quite the experience. So, I thought of a question while you're talking about all that when you mentioned drawing an elk tag, and I'm asking because I myself honestly don't know. What is the draw process for a youth hunter on a tag like that any different from an adult hunter?
No, sir.
Okay. I wasn't sure if they fell into different categories or how all that worked. Me personally, I've only just gotten into putting in for draws and hunting out of state and stuff really the past 2 or 3 years or so. So it's still relatively new to me, and you probably know more about it than I do. So
Yeah, there's a youth tag.
gotcha. Well, Diego, I really appreciate you coming on this week's podcast with us, man. It's been cool to hear about Mainbeam Addiction and how all that started and what you guys are doing over there. But before we cut you loose, man, I got to hit you with our rapid fire questions that we send to every newcomer to our podcast. So if you're ready, we'll dive into those.
Yes, sir.
All right. First question is, I know you've talked about several different hunts already on this podcast, but tell us about one of your favorite hunting memories and why it is one of your favorite hunting memories.
One of my favorite hunting memories is I went on an antelope hunt with it was on my uncle and my auntie's ranch. They told me if I passed my hunter safety, I could go hunt an antelope on their ranch. So I passed my hunter safety. I harvested my ghost turkey, and then I was able to go on their ranch, and it was a whole lot of fun. We got to go with their parents. All my cousins were there. My sister, my mom was there. It was a lot of fun. We spotted these ones. Me, my dad, and my uncle went, and we kind of spot and stalked a little bit. We had some brush in front of us. They were kind of lower, and we had got up high. One of the things I really remember from that is whenever we sat down on some really pokey leaves, and they were really sharp, and that's a memory I'll never forget from that hunt. And we waited and we waited, and finally the buck of them came out, and I was able to harvest my first antelope. And then we took it to the truck, loaded it up, and we went into one of their shops and skinned it and did all of that. So it was a whole lot of fun because I had all my family there surrounding me. That's what makes hunting so amazing.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. Do you rifle hunt, or do you rifle and bow hunt, or what's your weapon of choice?
So right now I'm just rifle hunting, but I do have a bow, and I have pulled back 36 pounds, and my dad told me I have to get to 40 before I can harvest anything with it. So hopefully I can become a bow hunter. Yes, I love archery. It's a whole lot of fun. We have my dad has some friends, Neil and Julie, at Hit or Miss Archery in New Mexico and Albuquerque. They have a range about 40, 50 yards with a whole lot of different 3D targets. It's one of my favorite places to go. It's a whole lot of fun, and they really were the ones that started me off. My dad, of course, started me off, but they provided me with all the archery needs that I needed. So they're amazing people, and they sure to work hard and help you with what you need for archery. So if you're ever down here in New Mexico, we'll have to take you over there to check them out.
That sounds good, man. That's awesome. Very cool. All right, rapid fire question number 2. What is a bucket list hunt that you want to go on that you haven't gotten to yet?
A bucket list hunt would be a mountain goat hunt in Colombia, probably. Ever since I was little, I've wanted to take one of those guys out. It's a dream hunt. I have multiple pictures from at a Turkey Federation. Every picture I seen of them when I was little, I'd ask my parents for me to buy, so I have multiple pictures of them laying on rocks and jumping over things in my room. So they're a beautiful animal that I would like to go hunt in British Columbia. They're amazing animals and they're very pretty.
Very cool. That's awesome, man. All right, third and final rapid fire question is, obviously we're a big portion of our conversation here has been youth hunting related. What is a big piece of advice that you have for a youth hunter just starting out?
A big thing for that is to work hard and just to work hard and to do it around hunting is the main thing that got me started with that is family. Family sure does help out a lot in hunting. It's just awesome to hunt with your family. It's amazing. I really enjoy going out there with my dad and shooting guns, and ever since I was little, he taught me gun safety. So to just make sure that you know your gun safety, and it's a whole lot of fun to do it with your family. That's what I would give advice is that it's a lot of fun to go hunting with your family, have good gun safety, and that the meat's really awesome. Whenever you harvest an animal, that the meat's really awesome. To make sure to take care of that right away because it's second to none. Their elk meat and orc meat is the best, though. So yeah.
Very cool, man. Awesome advice. Great. Anything that we've missed, buddy, before I take us into closing?
I think you guys covered it. Sam, you've done a pretty good job. So he was excited as can be to do this. So
Awesome.
I don't think there's anything on follow-up sessions that he doesn't like, or there's one thing he does really like is your guys' logo. He's up in arms about the whitetail deal. He didn't really touch on it a whole lot, but we were in Virginia and Diego's really never seen. Well, we don't have a whole lot of whitetail here in New Mexico, and but we did see some on that Gold's turkey hunt, in the southwest part of the state. And so when we went to Virginia, I mean, there's just whitetail like we have skunks around here, So anything whitetail, he's obsessed with whitetail at this point. So that logo you got there is pretty neat.
Well,
my favorite though about Fall Obsession is I really liked Outback Jack's gator hunt. That was awesome.
Well, I'll give you a hint. Old Outback Jack's got another video coming out pretty soon. You'll probably like that too.
Awesome.
Yeah, he tells me about all your guys' videos, so I sit there and watch them with him, and he's pretty obsessed with the archery stuff. Your guys' bow giveaway, that was pretty neat. That was a neat deal.
Yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I've been he kind of mentioned hit or miss there. They've been pushing the lead on me for a little bit. I'm a big Matthews guy, so that elite stuff's pretty nice though. They're definitely put out a good product.
I agree. We've been very happy with them so far. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, I will take us to closing real quick if you're good with that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Once again, man, thank you so much for taking some time to come on the podcast and talk with us about Mainbeam Addiction, buddy. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you having me on.
It's our pleasure, man. Real quick before we close out, tell folks, one, where they can find Mainbeam Addiction on social media and everything and get a hold of you guys, and two, how other folks out there can help support youth hunting.
Well, you can check us out at Instagram, Facebook, and where we sell all our products is Mainbeam Addiction. Mainbeam_addiction.com is where you can find us.
Very cool. Guys, be sure that you head on over there and check them out, give them a follow, and see all the good stuff that they're doing over there. It's a really cool to follow along and be a part of. So head on over there to Mainbeam Addiction and like them and pick up some apparel. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, be sure that you follow Fall Obsession on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that follow subscribe button for this podcast on your favorite podcast app. That way you get notified every single Monday morning when we drop a new episode. Also, our website is fallobsession.com. That's the hub. All of our content flows through that right there. And you guys can head on over to fallobsession.com/podcast if you want to suggest a topic, ask a question, or any other commentary or feedback you want to give us over our podcast. We'd really appreciate it. Diego, thanks again, buddy.
Thank you, Sam. I really do appreciate it.
Not a problem, man. It's been our pleasure. All right, guys. Thank you all for listening. Happy Thanksgiving week. Hope you guys enjoy the holiday. And we will catch you all next week once again for another Fall Obsession podcast episode. We'll catch you later.